silence and in fear of being judged.
Therapy, family and friends who have your back. When the world gets lost, those who care will be quiet. You are not alone. You are important, worthy of all good that comes on your way.
I'm tempted to just end it all. Look death in the eye and accept the fate put before me.
Staring in the mirror, my reflections Larry. Maybe I don't deserve to be happy because it's always breakdown after breakdown. I am tired, Nalema.
Maybe there's only one way out. Suicide.
Livingstone International University of Tourism Excellence and Business Management, also known as LIUTEBM University, held a mental health awareness event organized by the student representatives and the Public Health Club. The event took place in the school hall. Among the attendees were the academic dean, Miss Lucy Capitani, members of staff, and the student populace from different faculties. The speakers were Dr. Francis Ndlovu, Mrs. Toluwanimi, and guest speaker, Miss Namatama Lubinda, who's also the daughter of the former Minister of Justice, Given Lubinda. The event was hosted by the Student Representative President, Harrison Miti, who at the same time was celebrating his birthday.
Mental health
Madam
is a
Tolu
dynamic
was the first
state
speaker.
of internal equilibrium that enables individuals to use their abilities in harmony with universal values, and also they can recognize and express and modulate their own emotions. We've had situations where people have challenges modulating their emotions, and it leads to problems, it leads to chaos here and there. In addition to that, we talk about the ability to cope with adverse life events. There are times where things happen to individuals, losing loved ones or having accidents. Several things happen, abuses here and there. And because of that, people are not able to cope, all right? They lose hope in themselves. They lose their self-respect. Sometimes they even lose their self-confidence, and it can lead to some of the things. So these are things that actually come together. They don't work in isolation, but come together to ensure that as individuals, our mental state is ensured and our mental state is kept up. Now, if we want to look at mental health, like Mr. Kandela said, it's not just one aspect. Mental health looks at the holistic part. So you're looking at the physical, and you're looking at the social, you're looking at even issues that have to do with the society, family, your cognitive reasoning. You're looking at financial issues, because sometimes financial instability can lead to challenges with regards to mental health. Okay, so we have those kind of things there as well. And also environmental factors. And then we can't leave out work and career satisfaction. We have seen people who have been frustrated as a result of their jobs, either they lost their jobs, they are not getting enough as a result of what they are putting in, they are not getting enough pay, and sometimes even the stress of the job itself, all right, as a result of that. So all the things come together. And then we cannot leave out cultural and social influences. So the cultural and the social influences also have an impact on mental health. And of course, life events and trauma. So everything actually comes together, and you realize that it's not in isolation.
In her long speech, Madam Tolu, who lectures among other courses, public health courses, emphasized the importance of avoiding peer pressure, knowing your value in people's lives, and identifying real friends who would be there for you in dark times. She went on to advise students to be more stressed with academic work and not love or relationships.
Thank you very much, Madam Tolu, for that wonderful speech. It is important to note that mental health affects how individuals think, feel, and act, thereby distorting their ability to think and as well relate with others. So without wasting much of your time, I would like upon the guest speaker.
Can we do without the mic? Can you hear me, right? Okay. How do I turn it on? First of all,
So I have a list of questions. There are 10. So just answer within in your heart. You can answer on the paper and take note of how many yeses you give, okay? So the first question is, so all these questions answer within the last 2 weeks, okay? In the last 2 weeks, have you lost interest in daily activities? The second one is, in the last 2 weeks, have you been sad or hopeless for most of the time? The third one, have you experienced low self-esteem or low confidence? The fourth one, have you been feeling anxious or tensed up? The fifth one, have you had changes in your sleep? So have you been either sleeping too little or too much? The sixth one, you've already diagnosed yourself. Very good, very good. 10 points. The sixth one is appetite. Have you had changes in your appetite? So have you been eating too much or too little? The seventh one is, have you been reporting late to work or school? If that's who you are, I'm saying over the last 2 weeks, if it's a change, yeah, if that's who you are, then that's who you are. We can't help you there. The eighth one, have you had the desire to isolate from people? The ninth one, have you lost interest in sex? At singa ende. Okay, and then the last one, have you experienced suicidal thoughts? So if you've answered yes to 2 or less of those questions, talk to a friend about it, about whatever it is that you're stressing about. So what I was doing was stress test. So you may be stressed, but you're good enough. Then if you answered yes to 2 to 5 of those questions, schedule an appointment with a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor, okay? Then if you've answered yes to more than 5 of those questions, please call 933, that's the lifeline. You are most likely depressed.
Miss Namatama, full of smiles and healthy jokes throughout her short but very detailed speech, shared her ugly old days when she was suffering from mental illness. She flashed back to the days when she was addicted to alcohol, when she had suicidal thoughts, and how she overcame all her misery to being a mental health activist. She made it simple. She said she was able to overcome everything after working on her relationship with God, being honest with herself, and seeking counseling. She encouraged students to build their relationship with God first. Ms. Namatama ended her speech on depression and alcohol abuse. Dr. Francis Ndlovu, who is specialized in education and communication studies, summarized everything and emphasized on the need and the importance of communicating. He noted that some people would rather keep quiet than open up because they're scared of being judged. He encouraged both students and elders to normalize speaking to someone when there is need. He also touched on the importance of avoiding alcohol and drug abuse. He ended by saying, suicide is not a solution, but seeking help is. Miss Lucy Kapiteni closed the event by thanking everyone who made sure this event took place.
Mental health, and I saw relatives only taking him to the hospital. I was pretty young at the time, and always I would ask, why are you not treating him for mental health? Only when he has malaria, you're taking him to the hospital. Why do you leave him at that? Okay, so I think this particular presentation and it is very, very welcome to all of us. And we appreciate it, and I believe we would like to create a culture out of it. So thank you very much, and I'll leave you to remember the acronyms that were presented. I think they are very well, they are models that you can use for your day-to-day activities, and just to check yourself and be mentally woke. That's the correct. Be mentally. I actually just a few months followed your page on Facebook, because, you know, I probably wanted to be mentally woke. So I think that's why I came across your names, the word being mentally woke, and I read about it and it made a lot of sense to me. So I really appreciate your coming to LIUTEBM. And I wasn't here to welcome you in the beginning, but you're welcome, and we hope to have an interaction. I think my mic has failed. Okay, so I look forward to more interactions, because the academia is basically about learning, and we change the thoughts of our students, dealing with the mental faculties. So we need to be more. So thanks again. Thanks again. And for the students, I'm glad you took time out of your studies to come and listen to this and give support to this is yours, and you invited us, so thank you very much.
The mood of the students was amusing. The silence and attentiveness shown were evident enough that this event was important to everyone and was needed. Let's be aware of mental health. Let's not judge. Instead, let's help one another.
Always check your mental health. Stay woke. Viva mental health!